Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, my followers on Twitch, my subscribers on YouTube, peeps on Facebook, and of course, all the NFL fans on House of Nerdom. It is the DOUG here once again for his Week 14 predictions. Now, last week I went 9-7, which we're going to go over those games in a minute. And for the season, I am a 121 in wins, 69 in losses, yes, the dirty number, and one tie. Which I still say fuck you Cincinnati and fuck you North Carolina on that one. But before we get to last week's and the playoff standings and the winners and winners and losers of the Doug Barrett Awards, there are two things I want to talk about that happened. One, Johnny Football got to play this week on television against the Bills. He did get a touchdown, but oh, guess what? He didn't lead the comeback against the Bills. Oh, poor little Johnny Football. Boo, boo. Yeah, I don't care. That's pretty much what I thought when he came in. I didn't care. Unfortunately, now the problem is you now going to have a QB controversy because everyone's going to want Johnny Football to play because he almost led the comeback. But I don't think you should you stay with the guy who brought you this far, in my opinion. And plus, you're really going to have a QB problem now because you're playing against the Colts. And oh, by the way, just to take a look at the last few games you have, Cleveland. And you really didn't. If this would have been week 1 or 2, I don't think it would have mattered. But your last 4 games versus Colts, versus Cincinnati, so you're at home. Then at Carolina, then at Baltimore. Yeah. I'd feel a whole lot better if you let Bray Hall, the starting quarterback, over Johnny Football, okay? Period. But we'll see what happens. This could decide, whichever QB they start, it could decide if they make the playoffs or not, so it's going to be interesting. As far as for the other one, a rumor that won't die. This is as bad as the CM Punk coming back and Elvis Presley still being alive. Jim Harbaugh. Everyone thinks he's going to be landing on a new team. As a matter of fact, there was even rumors that he might be traded to Oakland or the Jets. Now, Mr. Goodrich, Dave Goodrich, you know who you are. Here's your shout out. Can you explain to me what in God's motherfucking name would that make any sense trading probably one of the best coaches you had in years to the Oakland Raiders or the Jets? What do you get out of it? All you get is a new head coach who's gonna suck, and you're gonna end up being the bottom of the barrel. For the love of God, San Francisco, have a brain and you keep Jim. Alright? This is the guy that brought you back from mediocrity to relativity. Something I'm still waiting for the Dallas Cowboys to do. You got it, San Francisco, and your coach. Don't blow it. Alright, going to last week's games now. On Thanksgiving, we had 3 games, and all 3 of them were not even close. The Detroit Lions defeated the Chicago Bears easily, 34-17, ending any shot of the Bears getting to the playoffs. The Cowboys didn't even show up for their game against Philadelphia, 33-10. And Mr. Goodrich's team didn't even bother to show up either, as the Seahawks destroyed them 19-3. You know what? The Thanksgiving Awards, simple. All 3 teams that lost, Bears, Cowboys, and 49ers, they get the worst teams on fucking Thanksgiving. Because they played like shit, all 3 of them. And the sad thing is the Bears were the only one to lead in their game till the second quarter happened, and then, well, they didn't show up after that. So congratulations to the Lions, Eagles, and Seahawks on winning on Thanksgiving. Moving on to the Sunday games. The Colts defeated the Redskins with ease, 49-27. The Texans keep their playoff hopes alive, 45 with a win over the Titans, 45-21. Fitzpatrick had his best day ever, I think, as he got 6 touchdown passes. And oh, by the way, J.J. Watt got a touchdown as well. The Bills defeat the Browns 26-10, even though Johnny Football thought he could be Mighty Mouse, and here he comes to save the day, and instead he got killed. Buffalo wins, keeping their hopes alive. Chargers would defeat the Ravens 34-33 on a controversial flag. And the reason I say controversial is this. You can make it, and before Chargers fans say, oh, Doug, you're just a Ravens fan. No, I'm not. We know I'm a Dallas fan. It's obvious. I say controversial call for this reason. Simply because of the fact that you can make a case that the San Diego Chargers player was also doing pass interference on the offense. To me, it looked like both players was trying to get the ball and fighting for it. Neither one was going to catch it because both of them were in a bear hug. Somebody was trying to do the fucking arm drag to somebody. Bad call by the refs. I think granted, I'm going to be honest. If the ref would have been on the other side where the Chargers player was, he probably would have flagged the Charger, and I would be sitting here saying a bad call for the Chargers. So unfortunately, the refs, once again, show they're retarded. Moving on to Jacksonville, where we saw the biggest upset of the day. The Jaguars defeated the Giants 25-24. And we're going to get back to that game later, because I think anybody who's been watching me the last few weeks knows why. Bengals barely beat the Buccaneers 14-13 in this one. They almost lost it, but if it wasn't for the fact of the Bengals head coach throwing the challenge flag when he couldn't challenge, they probably would have lost. And what I mean is this: he had 2 timeouts. He threw the challenge flag. As you know, you cannot challenge under the last 2 minutes of a game. He lost the timeout. But the refs got to look at the play that Tampa Bay just did. They had 12 men on the field. So if it wasn't for that challenge flag being tossed for randomness, Bengals probably would have lost that game. So, because I don't think the refs would have looked at it if they didn't challenge it or call a timeout. So, just saying. Moving on to St. Louis, where we saw a murder of a different kind, as the Rams defeated the Raiders 52-0. Rams pretty much committed a crime. They killed the Oakland Raiders bad. This was a murder, death, kill game. Okay, this is the game you call the Demolition Man out for to get help. Rams destroy them. Raiders show why they suck. Saints keep their playoff hopes alive after defeating the Steelers 35-32. And no, it was not that close. The only reason it got that close because at that point the Saints didn't give a damn. And the sad thing is the Steelers had a great day offensively, but 2 turnovers killed them. The Vikings defeated the Panthers 31-13. Panthers now looking like they're dead. Vikings are at least trying to get a winning season at least. And the Cardinals continue to be terrible since Carson Palmer got injured as they lose to the Falcons 29-18. And as a matter of fact, what's ironic is all 3 of their losses for the Cardinals have been on the road. They have not lost at home. We'll see if that continues this week. Falcons keeping their playoff hopes alive though as well. So, hey, the NFC South is starting to look somewhat decent. Keyword, somewhat. The Packers defeat the Patriots 26-21 in what was probably one of the best games of the season. Like I said, Packers have not lost at home, by the way. Keep that in mind. Yeah, and like I said, home field advantage for the Packers. Well, they won, so congratulations to Green Bay. Broncos would defeat the Chiefs pretty easily, 29-16. Chiefs just never got off the ground. And then, of course, last night it took him the fourth quarter to get a TD, but the Dolphins did win 16-13 over the New York Jets. So congratulations to all the winners. Now, as far as for my awards overall, I already added the 3 worst teams of this week. The other one, which was for Sunday, no, it's not Oakland. It's the New York Giants. They are the worst team to me as of right now. Because of this, you have Eli Manning, a 2-time Super Bowl champion quarterback. And not only are you 3-9, you just lost to the Jaguars by a point. Your offense couldn't do nothing. Your defense let the Jaguars rally after you were up 21-0. You dummies. You're the worst team of the week. Team that should have won, but should have lost, Cincinnati, because like I said, if they did not call the challenge flag, they probably would have not looked at it. So as for the best winning team this week, I got to go with Green Bay. Got to go with Green Bay on this one. Green Bay gets the best win, and so yeah, there's that. All right, moving on to the playoff standings. Here we go. AFC. Arizona is still NFC, excuse me. NFC. Arizona is still the number 1 seed right now at 9-3. It holds the tiebreaker over Green Bay based on best win percentage in conference games. It also holds the tiebreaker over Philadelphia based on head-to-head games. Now here's the thing. Arizona can still win the first seed if they win out, pretty much. Here's the problem. I'm starting not to have faith in Arizona's quarterback right now. By the way, the last 4 games for Arizona: at home against Kansas City, then on the road against St. Louis, then at home for Seattle, then on the road against San Francisco. There is a good possibility that Arizona, who a lot of us thought were going to be the number 1 seed before Carson Palmer got hurt, go from the number 1 seed to out of the playoffs because of Carson Palmer getting hurt. This just proves 2 things. 1, the curse is real. Whoever hosts the Super Bowl does not get to it. And 2, make sure you have a damn good backup. Heading the 2nd seed is currently Green Bay, as they hold the tiebreaker over Philly based on head-to-head win percentage. Philadelphia is the 3rd seed right now, and the 4th seed is Atlanta because they won the tiebreaker over New Orleans. As far as for the 2 wildcard teams, Seattle and Detroit hold it, as they hold the tiebreakers respectively over one another and Dallas. Unfortunately, I forgot one little thing. Originally, I thought it was going to be Dallas as the 6th seed due to the fact they beat Seattle. Unfortunately, I forgot when it's a 3-way tie, it goes to conference games, or common games, I should say, depending what it is. And Dallas got fucked in that one. San Francisco's on the outside looking in at 7-5. New Orleans can only win their division to get in. Chicago and Minnesota, they're pretty much out of it. Same with St. Louis at this point. I mean, the only way St. Louis can get in is they would have to get some help big time. They would have to, I think they would have to win out, and everybody in front of them, San Francisco, Seattle, and Arizona, would have to die, pretty much. So I don't think that's going to happen. Carolina can still get in, but they need help. Giants and Washington out in Tampa Bay. I'm only going to mark Carolina because I don't think they're going to get in. So it's pretty much for the South. The Atlanta Falcons against the New Orleans Saints. What's still sad about this is Dallas and San Francisco could get a winning season and miss it because they're not in the South. That sucks. Moving on to the AFC, the New England Patriots are still the number 1 seed as they hold the tiebreaker over the Denver Broncos based on head-to-head. Denver's the 2nd seed, 3rd seed is Cincinnati, 4th seed are the Colts, which I'll get to in a minute. 5th seed is San Diego right now, and Miami, thanks to their win last night, is the 6th seed. On the outside looking in, Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, both 7-5. Houston can still get in, but they need some help. Tennessee, Jets, Jacksonville, and Oakland are out. By the way, Oakland's the worst team, so congratulations to the first pick of the draft. You're going to Oakland, you poor bastard. Now, Monster Energy Drinks, they're good for you. Colts, they have a chance to lock up their division with a win and a loss by the Houston Texans. Unfortunately, Houston does play the Colts. Plays the Jaguars. So next week, when it's the Colts and Texans, that game decides that the Texans keep their playoff hopes alive and the Colts win the South. Remember, all the Colts have to do is to win the AFC South is get to 10 wins, since the Houston Texans are at 6 losses. So one more loss for the Houston Texans, Colts win the division, pretty much. So we'll see if that happens. I don't think it's going to this weekend. So yeah. Now let's get to these picks for week number 14. We start with the Dallas Cowboys on the road going up against the Chicago Bears on Thursday night this week. I am taking the Cowboys. They're my team. I'll pick them to win every day, all day long. So go Cowboys. And by the way, Cowboys need this win to keep their playoff hopes alive and not on life support. Game 2, Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Another game that has another game that can decide playoff spots. And a game I had trouble picking. Cincinnati looked like should have lost that game against Tampa Bay, to be honest. they only won because Tampa Bay is such a terrible team. And the Steelers lost to the Saints. By the way, that is the third time the Steelers have lost to a team they should have beat with ease, and they did not. Just saying. I know Mr. Andrew is like, Doug, don't pick the Steelers, don't pick the Steelers, don't pick the Steelers, don't pick the Steelers. For the love of God, don't pick the Steelers. I'm sure a lot of my other friends and my one aunt is hoping don't pick the Steelers either. But, Mr. Andrew, I'm afraid I got some bad news. I am picking the Pittsburgh Steelers on this one. We know the Steelers have not been kind to me when it comes to predictions this year. However, they need this game to keep their hope alive. A lawsuit would pretty much put them on the life support when you hear the beep, 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 beep. Cincinnati, this is really a coin flip in some cases because both teams have not really been. Neither team has really looked great. You know, I think this is going to be. I'm going to say this. I think the winner of this division will not win the Super Bowl. At this point, it's just, hey, you get a playoff spot. I'm taking the Steelers. Rams at the Redskins. Redskins look like crap. I'm taking the St. Louis Rams in this one. I don't think they're going to get as many points as they did, like they did against the Raiders, but they should have won this one. Giants at Titans. This was a hard pick because the Titans just suck. But we just saw the Giants blow a game against the Jaguars. I'm going to take the Giants on the road here. You know, maybe maybe the Giants want to play for pride at least for the rest of the way. I don't know. I'll take the Giants. Saints versus the Panthers. Saints are at home again. Remember, they have not won a home game in the last few weeks. As a matter of fact, the last 3 home games they had, they lost back to back to back. They need this one to stay in the race with the Atlanta Falcons here. I am taking the Saints at home. I know they haven't been a great home team this year, but the Panthers suck. Okay, Panthers. And what's funny is, I'm going to say this: the Carolina Panthers are the Vanilla Ice of the NFC South. They go from being top dog to bottom of the barrel. Well, near the bottom of the barrel, I should say. But yeah, Panthers suck. So yeah, Jets at the Vikings. I'm taking the Vikings on this one. Short week for the Jets. Jets suck. You know, they did play good against Miami, but I think the Vikings, this is another game that Teddy Bridgewater can show up and play well. Now, probably one of the 2 best early games of Sunday. Ravens at the Dolphins. The loser of this game, particularly Baltimore loses this game, their hopes for the playoffs are pretty much done depending what happens the rest of the way. Miami, if they lose, they're still in the hunt. But then it comes back to the multi-team race again, going da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I actually want Miami to lose because I'm taking Baltimore. But I want Miami to lose just because I want the AFC playoff race to look like the fucking Cannonball Run. I want anarchy. I want insanity. So go Baltimore for that. Colts at Cleveland. I'm taking the Colts on this one. Like I said, I'm an Andrew Luck guy. I don't think I picked the Colts to lose at all this season, have I? I don't think I have. I think I may have picked them maybe one or twice. Browns, well, yes, what they've been doing is great, but with no one knowing who's going to be the starting quarterback, I have to go with the one I know who's starting, so I'll take Andrew Luck. One of the last 2 early games of Sunday, which both of them will be stinkers. The Lions are at home against Tampa Bay. I'm taking Detroit. Tampa Bay sucks. And then, of course, Texans at Jaguars. Rivalry game, but I think Houston's going to win this one, making next week's game where is it? The Texans and Colts next week in Week 15. The winner gets to play which will make it a playoff match, pretty much, for the Houston Texans. Moving on back to Week 14. We go to Denver, where the Buffalo Bills will be traveling to take on the Broncos. If this was in Buffalo, I'd probably get not the Bengals, Botchamania. If this was in Buffalo, I'd probably take the Bills because I think they would have a better opportunity at home. But with it being on the road, I'm going to take Denver to win this one. I think this will be a close game, though, a lot closer than what a lot of other people are going to think. So don't be surprised if Bills actually hang in there. They actually have a good defense. It's the offense I don't know. The offense I'm questioning. for this one. We head to Arizona. Alright, here's the thing. I said it earlier. The Cardinals have looked like crap since Carson Palmer got injured. They need to do something if they want to not only hold on to the #1 seed, but actually hold on and get to the playoffs. But I'm taking Kansas City on this one, guys. Cardinals offensively have looked like crap. Hey, it's great if your defense can hold a team between 10 and 19 points, but it don't mean jack shit when your offense can't score any points. Not even 3. I'm sorry, so I got to take Kansas City on this one. They'll bounce back, and they'll keep their playoff hopes alive. Cardinals, you're going to have to do something. But hey, you know what? This could be the game where the Cardinals quarterback wakes the fuck up and says, hallelujah, well, I'm going to win like I did earlier in the season. We shall see. Like I said, Chiefs over the Cardinals, though. Next, oh boy. Seahawks at the Eagles. A game I'm dreading. I know this will be the best of the late games. Well, one of the best ones. Probably the best late game of the week. And no, I'm not counting the Sunday night game. The Eagles and Seahawks. It's in Philadelphia. Seahawks win. Hey, they keep the playoff hopes alive. Could even win their division. And Philadelphia would fall back down where Dallas could sneak in and win their division, respectively. Unfortunately, the problem is, if Dallas has trouble getting wild card spot, they will lose because of this game. Because of Seattle's better record or whatever happens. Now, if Philadelphia wins, Dallas, well, hey, that helps you wild card wise because you could get back in it, depending on what happens. But you may not win the division. So this one was tough, based on those and other things. And it for being the sole reason it being in Philadelphia, I'm taking the Eagles on this one. Why I prefer the Seattle Seahawks offense and defense. This is a game to where I think Philadelphia is going to have to really show up defensively. Offensively, I think they'll hang in there. But defensively is why I want to see Philadelphia shine here. Because their defense has been what's questionable. That's what hurt them last year. That's what a lot of people think are going to hurt them this year. Their defense is going to have to step up. This is the game you do it in. You did it against Dallas where you kept Tony Romo's the Dallas offense, who was hot up to that point. You kept them in check. You're going to have to do it against Seattle here. And like I said, I love the Seattle Seahawks offensively. I love their quarterback. I love the running game. But it's in Philadelphia. It's probably going to be cold. It's going to be rainy. The Philadelphia fans are fucking nuts. And I'm going to say this right now. If the Eagles lose this one, expect a lot of booing and bullshit chants. And everyone would be asking for Nick Foles to come back quickly. Last early game, Mr. Goodrich. Hey, your San Francisco 49ers get an easy fucking game as the 49ers travel to Oakland against the Raiders. I'm taking San Francisco on this one. This should be the easiest bounce back game of the year. So for the love of God, don't pull Kansas City. Sunday night game. The Patriots take on the San Diego Chargers. I'm taking the Patriots, guys. I don't care if it's in San Diego or not. I don't buy the Chargers. I don't buy them. I haven't bought them at all this whole season. They don't look like a... I mean, I cannot honestly sit here and say that... Because some people say they're going to win the division against Denver. You're fucking nuts. Now, they could get a playoff spot. They can get a wildcard spot, yes. But I don't look at them as a team when I'm looking at the AFC wildcard standings as a team that can make it. I don't. Just because of the fact... And I'm not even going to say it's strength of schedule. I just don't trust them. You know... The one it seems I don't trust. Hell, I trust Miami more than them. So yeah, and plus, come on, it's Tom Brady. They're going to be. I'm sure they'll probably upset they lost to Green Bay. This is going to be another win for them. They need this win in case Denver wins this week. Monday night game, Falcons at Packers. If you're the Saints and Lions, you're watching this game closely. Because if Atlanta wins, Saints are in trouble, but it helps Detroit. If the Packers win, it helps the Saints, but it doesn't help Detroit, at least winning the division-wise anyway. I'm taking Green Bay on this one, guys. Green Bay's at home. Atlanta, not a good team. Packers have not lost at home this year. Aaron Rodgers has been a beast at home. So I'm taking Green Bay on this one. So, I got Dallas, Steelers, Rams. Giants, Saints, Vikings, Ravens, Colts, Lions, Texans, Broncos, the Kansas City Chiefs. Fly, Eagles, fly. This will probably be the only time I say that, this going the rest of the way. 49ers, the Patriots, and the Green Bay Packers get a win this week. Let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree with my picks? And until I see you next time, this is the DOUG signing off saying have a good week 14. Enjoy the games. And I'll see you next time, folks. Woo, I'm hooked on a feeling.